Hey, I'm Mack. Welcome back to my channel. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe and consider joining my Patreon for access to videos 12 to 24 hours early, ad-free. My next upload was going to be about the science behind Prove It, and while that script is mostly done, so that will be coming in the next few days, we have had something come up. I realize this video is incredibly long, but the source content is incredibly long. If it's too long for you, I totally get that. I just couldn't help myself. You don't have to watch all of my videos. So Dave Hollis, ex-husband of self-help author and Schrodinger's relatability exhibitor Rachel Hollis, recently released a book-like collection of pieces of paper with sequences of sentences on them bound together in order with a cover built through courage. Now, I'm not saying his language-inspired book simulator and bizarre choice of a forced nautical theme is bad, because I don't know much about books, but Savvy definitely does. In fact, Savvy writes books. And if you haven't seen her review of Built Through Courage, I highly encourage you to check it out. Now, it might come as a complete shock to you to learn that the demand for a book full of nonsensical waterboarded metaphors like you can't sail the ocean with someone else's map and platitudinous self-deluded humble-bragging advice from a 40-something former Disney executive who forced his ex-wife to make him CEO of her own company before getting divorced and rebounding so fast that the sonic boom from it breaking the sound barrier sparked noise complaints for hundreds of miles into a relationship so toxic it was briefly suggested that the Yucca Mountain Waste Project be once again considered in light of the need for a place to store Heidi Powell and Dave Hollis to protect public health before the proposition was struck down by the state of Nevada on the grounds that nuclear waste was one thing, but that relationship is going too far. You may be shocked to learn that the demand for such a book is rather low. Disastrously low, even. Unfortunately, the lookouts in the crow's nests were unable to prevent Dave Hollis from colliding with the iceberg of catastrophically low attendance at the hastily planned book signings Dave has been having all across this great nation, such as Denver, which greeted him with a warm, "Sorry, who are you?" and Salt Lake City, where he was received with the city equivalent of, "I don't have any change." Now, we all know that when the control rods of graphite and completely undeserved praise are removed from the reactor of an outrageously privileged Christian heterosexual cis white male, their delusion of how incredible they are can become dangerously destabilized. In fact, we have probably been inches from disaster, always at risk that Dave might learn at any moment that typing his name into Google produces a summary that labels him ex-husband of Rachel Hollis. While that risk has never materialized, on October 30th, 2021, disaster still happened. Citizens of Chernobyl Oblast, there is no need to make panic or alarm, but please evacuate the zone of exclusion immediately because Pripyat, we have got a meltdown. Over the course of 2 hours, radioactive particles of highly reactive narcissism and unstable isotopes of decaying self-aggrandizement and privileged whining and guilt trip were launched into the atmosphere over Instagram Live before the event could be contained and later deleted by Dave. Nice try, Dave, but unlike your job at Disney that you totally left voluntarily, the internet is forever. It's a 2-hour live, so in addition to running him at 1.5 times speed, I will also be cutting out as much of him repeating himself as I can because there is a massive amount of it. I also took the liberty of running some analysis on the transcription of it. And you might find it entertaining to know that the phrase "inside of" occurs 10 times. The phrase $18 or $18 occurs 31 times. The most frequent word is the word I, and it occurs 950 times. The phrase I wrote it for you, or I wrote these words for you, or a similar phrase beginning with I wrote and ending with for you occurs 18 times. The word patio occurs 25 times, and the phrase patio of peace occurs 16 times. The phrase change your life occurs 14 times. The phrase every single day occurs 13 times. And the phrase to show up occurs 15 times. Also, if you're here to be like, you're nitpicking, why can't you stick to the facts and analysis? Sweetheart, it's called catharsis, and not everything is required to be informative. Sometimes we're actually allowed to be entertained, and also that sentiment is probably coming from a place of, for me, homophobia. And when it's another channel, it's probably from a place of misogyny for other creators. I'm just saying, it is. It is. Also, I started the reaction at work after hours because I had some additional repetitive tasks to finish up. And, my warehouse has weirdly incredible lighting with all the metal halide lamps. So, hey-oh, it's bring your subscribers to work after hours day. Now, let's go!
Working on a few things for a little book of mine. Still book launch week, still working on it. It's called Built Through Courage. More than that, welcome to the Patio of Peace, where game time temp is, I want to say it's about 55 degrees right now. I'm wearing American flag socks, so everything's going to be just fine today. Thank you, good morning. But I thought, why wouldn't we? You're on my Patio of Peace. I wrote a book where I describe the thing that I'm sitting on. If you're interested, I'm going to pull up a chair. I'll read out of the...
Dave, no one wants to hear you write or read an entire book about your butt plug that you're sitting on, okay? Nobody. Nobody wants that. Nobody's interested. Seriously. I promise you.
The book of Built Through Courage, written by Mr. Dave Hollis, that's me. And I'm going to read to you about my Patio of Peace. Now, I will warn you, if you go on the Instagram feed for Mr. Dave Hollis, I did something, it nearly feels obscene. I'm going to be honest. It nearly feels obscene.
What did you do that was obscene?
I wrote the longest caption I have ever written in my entire life. Straight up.
Was the caption sexual fanfic or something? What was obscene about it?
Started writing. I got up early this morning. But here's the weird thing. I'm so excited about the book, and I'm in the window where I get to be really excited about the book that I rolled over. It was 5:15 in the morning. I don't get up at 5:15 anymore. I am the only adult Hollis that lives here, and that's not my jam. But when
the shade.
I am in this launch window, and I am so excited about this stinking book. I woke up and I was just like, oh, I got to start working on something because I'm so excited to tell people about it. And I ended up writing this really long post where, among other things, you need 40 minutes to read it. So go ahead and pour yourself the tall coffee, pull up a chair, make sure there's a comfy cushion behind it. But it was just this declaration in full transparency that I have written a book that you have to read. I'm not shying away from it. I'm not going to say you might like it. I am 100% positive in my heart that there is something written in this book that will change your life. There just is. And if that makes me egotistical or if that makes me hubristic, label me that. I know that I have written something in this book. The words that are used, they are written with love, and they were written specifically for you. I am positive, beyond a shadow of doubt, more certain of anything that I've ever been certain of, that there is something that is inside of the book that is sitting currently on my lap that would change your life. It's $18. 18 stinking dollars. For $18.
Dave, why is it inside the book and not just in the book? Jesus Christ.
I am 100% certain I would put all of the money in the world up against the promise that for $18 I could change your life. And the reality is, most of the people that are watching right now are I'm good. I don't even know why you follow me. I'm going to be honest. Sorry, it's early. We're on my Patio of Peace. Dave, go to your...
Yeah, it's starting to seem like that name for it is a bit of a misnomer. Because I'm not seeing a whole lot of peace occurring.
Peaceful place. Don't yell at these people. Don't yell at these people. They're friends. We're trying to be friendly. Don't yell at these people. I'm just going to say, I'm coming back. I'm going to be a little intense for a second. I just want you to brace yourself. It's early. I'm wearing American flag socks. You know it's going to be a good day if you're wearing those American flag socks. Why do you follow me if you haven't bought my book? Why do you follow me?
Because they probably followed your wife and then they stopped liking what she did, or, you know, or they're misogynistic, so they're blaming her for the divorce and not holding you equally accountable. And so they started following you, and then, you know, they kind of like your content, but they don't like it enough to buy your book, okay? I mean, it's not that difficult. Like, just because someone follows you does not entitle you to purchases from them. And honestly, it more entitles them to your appreciation of the fact that they're following you in the first place. No one's required to follow you, Dave, and no one's required to buy your book. I realize that as a person who comes from privilege, this is kind of jarring and unsettling to you, that you can put in the effort for something and not get rewarded for it. But, you know, I mean, welcome to the world, dude. I realize that is shocking and angering and frustrating to you, but it is the way that the world works. It's not always the way that it works for cis, heterosexual, white, Christian men, but it is the way that it works for everybody else.
If you follow me and haven't bought my book, unfollow me. I would prefer to lose all of the people who are not interested in buying the thing that I've dedicated the last 18 months of my life to, that I've poured every single bit of my being into, than allow you to show up and breach our contract. Because this is our contract. This is it. I will show up every single day for y'all. We're starting a book club on Wednesday. Wednesday, the third day of November. 3rd of November, right? We're going to start a book club. And I am going to get up every single day. And I am going to hand you a 50-plus page PDF workbook for free. And I'm going to give you the journaling prompts. And
I thought it cost $18.
I'm going to give you the work prompts that are going to take you through every single one of these chapters. And some of you are just going to join the lives. That's cheating. That is cheating. I've written a book for you. It is $18 American. It is $18 American. And I'm just telling you right now, 100%, it'll change your life. It will change your life. Will it really change my life, Dave? Yes, it will change your life. I wrote this book. It's called Built Through Courage. It's $18. We're going to start a book club on Wednesday. You're all invited. But you know who I only want to show up? People that invested in themselves $18 worth. $18 worth. Because I am 100% certain. I'm going to wake somebody up in the Hollis house. It's so quiet here. Please, Dave, don't yell. $18. Let's get back to peace for a second. $18. I'm just letting you know that
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of peace here, Dave. What I'm seeing is your backyard, and then you being, you know, really angry at your followers. I mean, we are asking your followers the same question. I too am like, why do you follow him? But I feel like we're asking it with different intents here. Also, you kind of sound like Donald Trump right now. Like the whole cadence, the whole, I wrote this book. You just keep repeating yourself with really simple sentences. You're like, I wrote this book. It's $18. I wrote this book. I wrote it for you. Like, Dave, I feel like this is where this whole thing stems from. It really all stems from the shock that happens for someone who, as a cis, heterosexual, white, male, Christian, born into wealth and power, that it is so shocking to you that it is possible for you to put in the effort for something, that it is possible for you to, in your perspective, to do everything right, and that you put the effort, you put your hard work, you put your passion into it, and it is shocking to you that you don't get rewarded for that. I'm sorry, but that's the way the world works, and your followers and everybody else, none of them owe you anything. They don't owe you $18. They don't owe you a follow. They don't owe you anything. I know that you think they do, but they don't.
don't mind because it's my calling. This is my life. Like, Dave, are you really going to show up every day for 40 consecutive days and teach us for nearly an hour's worth of time, give us a free PDF workbook for just kicks? No.
Big fucking deal, dude. What? 40 days you're gonna get up and teach for an hour? Wow. Dave, how are you going to handle that incredible time commitment? I mean, I don't know how you're gonna do it. How will you survive? I hope he's gonna be okay.
It's not kicks. I'm going to do it because this is my calling. I don't have a choice. I was brought here, and I'm not leaving. So I'm going to serve you all well. I'm going to serve you guys well. I'm a little ornery this morning, I'm going to be honest. I may have gotten up a little earlier than I let on, because I've been thinking about all the things I want to do with this book. I want this book to be in the hands of every single human being I meet. I may, in fact, have gotten up just a tiny bit early. My mouth is just a tiny bit dry right now, so you might be hearing my tongue sticking to the roof of my mouth. It's because I'm fired up.
Gross. Why did you lie to us about what time you got up? Why didn't you just tell us what time you got up? I mean, we can already see that you're on like the verge of a breakdown here, so I doubt you would shock us.
Why are you fired up, Dave? It's Saturday morning. You're wearing American flag socks. We know that American flag socks make you happy. And you're on your patio of peace. I thought that your patio of peace is where you conjured peace. Is it on Audible? Darn right it's on Audible. I read it, and I read it in a tone that is far calmer than the one that I'm trying to encourage you to buy right now. Dave, you're talking about peace, aren't you? No, I'm talking about buying my book, because we got a book club starting on Wednesday. You got like 4 days to make a transaction. Why do you follow me if you don't already own my book?
Honestly, I start questioning why anyone follows you when you keep doing the random singing thing. I think it's really annoying, and you're not a very good singer. Like, it's kind of fun when people who can sing do it, but it's kind of annoying when people who can't sing do it. It's like, why? Like, don't bring the major scale into this, okay?
Oh, I just want to encourage you, for $18. For $18, here's the thing. I will, for somebody who today buys the book, I'm going to take off my American flag socks. I'm going to sign them. I'm going to write my name on them in an autographed fashion, and I'm going to mail them to you as a prize for deciding to finally make a good choice in the month of October. I wish you
Gross. That's fucking disgusting. That is disgusting. All right, subscribers, I want you to look at me. Look at me. On this day, I promise you, I will never, ever offer you my used dirty socks as a prize. And I mean that. I promise you that forever. I will never offer you my used dirty socks as a prize. I can't believe I need to say that, but I am. That's disgusting, Dave. That is disgusting. And also, I would question the mental state and the motivations of someone for whom that is a compelling prize, because yikes, that's concerning to me.
wait until the end of the month, I'll be honest. But why do you follow me if you don't have the book? If you follow me and you don't have the book, we need to have a longer conversation. Like, seriously, I'm all about getting a free ride. Just not here. Just not here.
I know, you're only about getting a free ride when you get it via your race, your gender expression, your sexual orientation, your religion, the fact that you were born into a position of status and power and wealth with good connections to the old boys club. I know, Dave, your entire life has been a free ride, and that's why it is utterly ludicrous and utterly batshit crazy that you actually think that you could possibly have even a single relevant piece of advice that could at all help most people. Because you don't understand how much privilege you have. You say that you do, but you don't. Because if you did understand how much privilege you have, you would not say stupid things like asserting that you have advice that could help everybody, because your advice cannot help everybody. I'm honestly, I don't think it can help anybody other than maybe it might be able to help people with similar levels of privilege, but honestly, they probably don't need it because they can just do what you did and, voluntarily leave their highly paid executive positions so they can go fuck around in the desert for 3 days or whatever the hell, and then act like they've struggled so hard. It's been so difficult. They've been finding their purpose. Like, that is the fact that you actually think that this doesn't sound completely batshit crazy to assert that it would be helpful to most people without your level of privilege. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Here, I didn't write this because I thought it'd be fun to have some illustrations in a book with a bunch of pages on it. No, I wrote it because it was placed in my heart. I wrote it with tears dripping down my face. I wrote it
It's been on his heart. It's been on his heart.
Because we've all been through a hard time, and I know. I am positive. Dave, are you positive, like 100% positive? I am 100% positive. Frankly, if you buy the book, you read the entire book, and you tell me, legitimately, Dave, I didn't get one thing out of this book, I will actually do something obscene for you. I will. Like, I give you 1,000.
What, are you gonna give them a blowjob or what? Like, what the fuck are you... Do you know what the word obscene means? Because I don't think it means what you think it means. I think you're getting it confused with a different word or something. Because when you say, if you buy the book and you don't get something out of it, I will do something obscene for you. Like, doesn't that sound like I'm gonna give you a sexual favor or something? If I'm like, don't tell me you didn't get anything out of this video if you ever want the possibility of me doing something obscene for you. Stop laughing.
No, I don't want to say it because then someone's gonna be like, I read it and I want $1,000. No, but like, I feel so confident about this that I would bet something irrationally huge. Because I am so, you can go ahead and raise your middle finger at me. I don't even care about you, middle finger guy, today. You know why? Because it doesn't bother me today. That's what's up. I wrote this book, and you know who needs this book most? Middle finger guy in the comments. You, son, need this book. Whatever's happening with you in your life, I love you. I wrote this, there he is. You, sir, you need the book. Now you're blocked forever. Like, literally forever.
Dave, there aren't any men watching you.
You're gone. I was going to teach you something this morning, and now, middle finger guy, you're gone. You know what you need? You need this book, 18 bucks. 18 bucks. That guy's whole life could have changed. If you haven't bought the book yet, I want you in the comments to tell me why you follow me, but have not yet spent $18 on the thing that I spent 18 months writing through tears.
Because they don't want it. They just want your content.
I want to know. Because if you can come up with a good reason, I will accept it. I will now create an exception to my rule. And my rule is, I will show up for you every single day.
The audio just cut out.
You consider spending 18 bucks. And here's the thing, someone who's listening right now is like, I'm trying to enjoy my coffee and this guy's trying to get 18 bucks out of me. If that request offends you, I understand. And I mean no disrespect. But I'm also going to ask you to unfollow me.
Yeah, it's not the request that offends them. It's the fact that you, first of all, you don't even appreciate that they were following you in the first place, so that's a bit of a stab in the back. And second of all, it's the fact that it's not that you're asking them to consider purchasing your book or even just straight up asking them, like, hey, buy the book. Like, that's fine. Like, you're allowed to push your book and say you want them to buy it. But it's this whole feeling entitled to them purchasing your book. You're not entitled to getting a book purchase.
Because I bled into this. I wrote these words for you. I didn't write them for me. I mean, here's the thing. I'll be honest. I did write them for me. All right, here's the thing. Sleeve says, I don't have a job and don't have any money. I am not trying to be dismissive of your situation with work, sir or ma'am.
But watch me be dismissive with it.
And I mean this serious, and I mean serious as a heart attack. This $18 would be the fastest route to you getting paid, the fastest route to you finding your passion and your calling, the fastest route to you getting money, having abundance in your life, of any of the things you're considering right now. I don't know what options you're working through, but if I were you, I am dead serious here. I know it's early. I haven't slept a lot. I've been thinking about this book, but I am dead serious. If I had no money, I had literally no money, I had no job, I would find a way to get $18 to get this book. God, Dave, that sounds like you're being disrespectful to people that don't have.
Wow, Dave, that That just might be the trashiest thing you've ever said. So congratulations on, really leveling up. You're really growing here. You just trashier than ever before. It's really disgusting. I almost threw up in my mouth. Do you know how I know that your book would not help anyone who's currently struggling to find a job and currently struggling with money right now? The fact that you referred to the process of getting a job as finding your calling.
No. I'm saying that I think that some of the answers as to why you don't have a job or how you find one when you don't currently have one might exist here because I spend a bunch of time talking about finding your purpose on this planet, unlocking the intention of your creator. I just believe in the depths of my soul that some of the answers might be here. I'm sorry that you don't have a job. There are resources, though, that exist. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a freaking resource. $18. It's cheaper than taking a cab to go down and talk to somebody about how you find a job. I am fired up. Billy, fired up. What's my name, Jonathan?
Dave, it's 2021. You don't have to go take a cab to talk to someone about getting a job.
My name is Dave. I'm wearing American flags, socks. We've covered that already. I'm sitting on the patio of peace, getting some thumbs downs. I'm going to tell you right now, you, sir, are no longer a friend of mine. I'm going to miss you. I wish that we could be friends forever. Okay. All right. Some people are going to go buy it. And
do you, though? Because if you really wish that you could be friends forever, maybe you wouldn't kick them out just for not buying your $18 book.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Audible version is completely acceptable. I'm the one who reads the book, and I 100% absolutely love listening to audiobooks, especially when the author has read it. You can hear all of the emotion in my voice while I'm reading a book that is super emotional. So I'm in. Yeah, there you go. You can get the book from the library too. I'm not going to try and shame you into having to buy a book, but also there is an option in the library. I also think it's a great deal, and I think you should get it. It would help you, period. All right, I'm going to go into a less hostile version of myself in my voice. Good morning. Again, you are sitting on my patio of peace. Welcome. I am so happy that you are here. I am not sure what's happening. There's a lot of negative comments. I know. You know what it is? I started talking about this book, and they were like, no, don't talk about this book. Just show us something else. I'm not sure what all these comments are from or who they are. I've never been in close DM contact with a lot of these people. I know, I need sleep. I do. Thank you for identifying that, Shoppy. Appreciate that. All right, we're going to read a little section out of the book where I talk about...
Dave, if you don't know why you're getting negative comments, then you really have no place giving anybody any advice about any topic at any point ever.
The importance of stillness. I am sitting here on this back patio where I have conjured stillness for myself over and over and over again. It has been so important to being able to connect with the voice that is inside of my being, but also the voice of God, the things that are truth when something other than that tries to infiltrate my peace. So I'm going to read you a little bit about why I believe peace and stillness is an important thing for you to consider making an intention on a very, very regular basis. All right, hold on. I'm trying to find it. I hope that everyone is having a nice start to their day. I am, I was the only person who was awake at the Hollis house. I just got so fired up that I might now be one of many people who are awake at the Hollis house. But does anyone who has the book have a sense of where the chapter about stillness is?
Dave, it's your book. Okay, it's your book. You wrote it. You wrote it for us, okay? For 18 months, it took you 18 months. You bled on it, you cried on it, and you don't know where the chapter on stillness is.
Maybe it's clarity. Let me see. Where do I live? I live in Texas, just outside of Austin, Texas. Here we go. All right, Seeking Stillness. So if you have not yet purchased the book, I will also start with this. This is page 9, I'm gonna remind myself. So the book is built in sections. We start with where you are, we get into where you are going, and it really tries to take you through, I mean, look at this, there are my children to whom it's dedicated. I'm trying to take you on a little bit of a journey. And the journey connects to this map, okay? So knowing where you are prepares you for where you are going. And so you go in some ways, oh, Tamara was late, everybody, I'm sorry.
Okay, first of all, I can't use that map because that's Dave's map, and how am I gonna sail the ocean with somebody else's map? Second of all, I just wanna let you know that the entire duration of this, from the beginning until now, he actually repeats for Tamara because Tamara was late. So he goes on for another 15 minutes repeating everything he just said. Don't worry, I've cut that out of this one because there's already enough of him repeating himself.
Wait, we're going to have to just do this real quick for Tamara. Tamara, that's it. Oh, no one that is negative is ruining my patio of peace. Here's the thing. Literally, nothing can ruin my
Kind of seems like they are.
patio of peace. My patio of peace is not ruinable. All right, we're going to do a little reading out of the book that I've now spoken of. It's called Built Through Courage. I told you that there is a map, right? There's a map. And each time you get to a new chapter, you get to see where you are on the map. So the chapter about calling, right? There's a section about calling. It happened also, if you want to listen to it, be an episode of the Rise Together podcast this last week. Inside of the calling section, there's a
I think that's so cringy that he's doing the Rise Together podcast again. Like, oh, that's so tacky. Also, listen, Dave, this is already not sounding like it's something that's going to appeal to me, okay? Lord of the Rings had maps too, and I didn't like those books either, okay? I'm just not a Tolkien guy.
section on letting go and on belief and on clarity. That's what we're going to talk about today. On confidence, on calling, and on leverage, creating leverage to actually make some traction. So I'm going to read. I'm going to give you a little bit of a view. Jennifer, I'm going to let everyone know how they get the workbook and how they sign up for the book club, probably on Monday. I'm going to sit here and hang out on this patio, and then my parents are in town. I'm going to go to a flag football game today and just relax. But I will make sure that everyone has the information for book club before we get to Wednesday. And as soon as we have that information, I will make sure everyone has it. I'll post it literally everywhere I can. All right. Seeking stillness. Seeking stillness. The fast-paced modern world is often at odds with an essential ingredient required for connecting with our inner selves and our desires: stillness. As a result, we must be intentional about slowing down and making the time to reflect and dream, engineer quiet moments, cultivate calm. There are various ways of doing this. Some of us choose meditation, some a hot bath, others time in nature or the solitude that comes in a long run. In late 2019, to find the next level stillness I needed to manufacture my ambitious best year ever, I traveled to a place in the desert outside of Tucson, Arizona, where for 3 days I sat on a rock alone. Open notebook, no technology, no agenda. Well, okay, there was a small agenda. I was on a mission to find my purpose. Little thing. As previously described, I felt unmoored. As I drove to the airport, an Avicii song came on. I started to cry.
Savannah. Of course he went to Tucson. Like, of course. Of course he went to Tucson. Tucson's perfect for him, isn't it? Ugh. And how dare you take Avicii's name in vain?
Out of nowhere, I mean, I like this guy's music, but this was something else. On an assignment to find myself, I worried that I might
Not even a rest in peace for him?
come back having discovered that there was nothing to find. Maybe I would sit in nature for 3 days only to discover that happiness and fulfillment were things reserved for other people, but not for me. Maybe I had been so consumed by the identities of husband and father that I no longer knew who I was. A special blend. Oh, good morning.
I saw the sun come up.
Yep, the sun's up, so you can get out of bed now. But you're on my patio of peace, which means we're going to try and be a little bit quiet while I finish reading, and then we're going to go in and make breakfast.
I want Mickey pancakes.
Let's do some Mickey pancakes today.
Yay.
A special blend of people-pleasing, codependent.
I've already got some of my thoughts there on and text on the screen for why I'm upset at how, and also, I mean, Dave is, I'm sorry, he's a terrible parent. At least based on what he presents on social media, he's a terrible parent. And this is like the least terrible parent thing that he's gonna do so far. But for one, I don't even have kids, and I already know that it's kind of a bad idea for you to put the idea of you're gonna make pancakes for her in her head when you're gonna be going on for like 2 more hours. Although, granted, Dave is totally oblivious to how long-winded he is and the fact that he is almost criminally unable to wrap up a conversation. But like now, like you've already put the idea in her head, okay? So like, I don't know what you expect. She's 4, okay? Come on.
And a desire to be loved had me familiar with acquiescing to the needs and interests of my closest people so much that I was unable to answer a simple question: what do you like to do in your spare time? I'd spent so much time trying to be and often failing completely to be who my partner and kids or parents, my church or society wanted me to be that I lost sight of who I of who they wanted me to be that I lost sight of who I wanted to be. Who was I meant to be? Couldn't even tell you what I liked. I lost touch with my true desires. I lost touch with my passions. Anyone else relate? When I ventured into the desert, I had recently finished reading a book by Ryan Holiday called Stillness is the Key. I challenged myself to see what popped up when I did as his book recommended and made stillness an intention. If you're just joining us...
Again, he repeated himself again there, and I graciously cut that out for you.
In testing this hypothesis that any season of chaos or crisis you find yourself in can be better navigated by slowing down and tuning out the noise, it turned out to be a powerful experience and one that I can't recommend enough. Hey, Noah, I need my computer. About to lose battery here, folks. Hang out. Hold on.
Dave, go get it yourself.
So I sat there in the desert and scribbled my thoughts in a small green notebook with a ship scrawled on its front. My first entry read, well, I'm writing in a notebook. How exciting. Well, it said I'm writing in a journal. I wasn't looking. I'm writing in a journal. How exciting. Then I drew a straight-faced emoji.
So imagine how much privilege you need to have in order to think that that experience is this life-changing thing that is going to benefit everyone, that you need to share because it's going to change everyone's life. Can you imagine?
The notion of being alone, of giving myself permission to take time away from my family and work, it felt strange. All right, pause. I gotta get the computer so that we don't have this phone die on us. Hold, please. Intermission time. Noah has, you've retrieved it? Thank you. Oh, where's the plug on the side?
I unplugged it.
I'm gonna need that plug. I need that white plug. The small white plug that we had. I'm gonna need that. No, not that one. Yep, that one. Yeah, just this one. Thank you so much. Let's close that door. It's chilly.
Yeah.
All right, hold, please. We're coming back. I know everyone likes to have plug time, but we can't have this phone die or there's no more reading time with Uncle Dave.
Okay, Dave, when people talk about unplugged time, they don't mean literally unplugged. Like having your phone off of the charger does not count as unplugged time.
Uncle Dave, who has stopped sleeping. Well, the book is coming out. Good morning, everybody. Why sleep anyway, really? Okay, back to our book. If you're just joining us, it's not just me talking to my phone. We're reading a book. It's called Go Through Courage. I would encourage you to grab it. It's available today. And I am reading currently out of a chapter inside of the section on your calling that is all about creating stillness. If doing this without a detailed agenda felt stranger. By filling up a notebook with things I didn't even know I was thinking, I was able to have the breakthroughs that were needed to create the kind of life I wanted in the coming year. In that notebook, I cast a specific, detailed vision for how I wanted to emerge on the other side. 38 single-line pages describing how I tend to my health and my mindset, cater to my personal passions, invest in my faith, draw closer to my most important relationships. I even included the most intricate nuances of how I dress, carry myself, and feel when I looked in the mirror. The detailed inventory of the life I wanted came complete with insights into how I'd have to show up if I actually wanted the life I'd been writing down. Never having journaled before, I had no idea how powerful this practice could be. I wrote in my green notebook for 3 days, almost without stopping. When I started each journaling session, the first 20 or so minutes were a warm-up to get out the things sitting at the top of my consciousness. Thoughts I already knew I had, the stuff I needed to do, details that were causing stress and anxiety for me that I was already well aware of. But then, after the 20-minute mark, something magical would happen. I'd write things I wasn't even aware I'd been thinking. Now, I was tapping into my subconscious, where I'd been pushing down feelings and storing my unprocessed emotions. I didn't mention that I didn't read the part where I said this, but I had deleted social media before I left.
I just want to interject here really quick. I didn't want to interrupt during that part. But when he started reading again, he actually started back at the beginning of the entire passage. And again, I graciously cut that out for you. He actually started the whole chapter over. Yeah. Can you imagine having these thoughts and thinking that you are just a fucking visionary?
By deleting social media from my phone, carving out this time, and setting an intention with stillness, I was finally able to see and hear what I hadn't been able to in the busy day-to-day of normal, quote-unquote, normal life. Before I left the desert, I had a vision for the life I wanted going forward. Alex is because Alex, it's a nice underhand softball toss. I appreciate you, sir. Alex is asking, Dave, what do? You, Alex, sound a little bit like Grandma Lee. I appreciate that. She's 99. baller. But every time I see my grandma Lee, she asks me the same question: Dave, what do you do? Do you have a career? Should we be concerned about you?
Grandma's right.
If you're wondering if I'm going to come back to reading, I definitely will. But I'm going to answer this question real quick. So, Alex, the question that I get from Grandma Lee and the question that you have asked, same question. The answer to the question is I'm an author, a podcaster, I am a coach, I do those things, but the thing I describe in the book, and it's a big question, it's not the chapter that we're talking about, but I'll just throw this out. This would be a big enough question to change any.
Dave, I don't know why you do lives if you always are going to get irritated by the fact that people are interacting with you. If you have a whole thing that you want to deliver and you don't want to be interrupted for it, then just make a pre-recorded video.
Someone's life today. Someone, if you do this exercise, will have their life changed before 4 p.m. today. Who did you want to be before you became who you've become? Alex, I'm not a celebrity. I'm an author. I host a podcast. I'm a coach, but I'm about to give you the actual answer. This is a big, big question. Alex, I want you to think about this question too, brother. Who did you, Alex, want to be before you became who you've become? Who did you want to be before you became who you become? Okay, so I had a long career in media. I did work with my former wife at an entertainment company, right? I had these jobs. I was making a lot of noise in the window, okay? But I was always in those jobs, even the ones that I was very successful at, disconnected to my purpose. Disconnected from my passion. I was disconnected from the thing, the intention of my creator. Everyone that's listening, pull your chair close. I'm going to say something real quick that's important, okay? Every one of you, no matter where you're from, no matter what country you're in, what language you're typing in, no matter where you're at, okay? Alex and everyone else who's listening, it's important. Each of us, me, Pata, Lisa, Nikki, all of us were created with very deliberate intention in mind by a creator. Okay? I happen to believe in, I happen to be a Christian person, I believe in a Christian God. I will love you, you are welcome here, no matter what you believe in, okay? But I happen to be a Christian, I believe in a Christian God. I think that God created me with immaculate, perfect, thoughtful design.
How in the hell can you say you are immaculately, perfectly, thoughtfully designed when over 5,000 people in the United States alone die every year from choking on food because your creator, in his utter fucking brilliance, decided to make you eat and breathe with the same whole? I don't get that. This is why people who aren't Christians aren't interested in this facet of your beliefs, because it is so ridiculous and at odds with just basic reality that it just doesn't make any sense. It sounds like you're living in some fantasy world. Okay, like there might be some different types of Christian messaging that might be of interest and applicable to non-Christians, but if you're gonna go on this angle, like it is utterly incomprehensible. How exactly is it immaculate, perfect, thoughtful design that your eyes have a fucking blind spot because your creator decided the best way to connect the HDMI cable of your optic nerve to the 4K display that is your retina by drilling a hole through the fucking LCD panel and running the cable through the hole in the screen instead of attaching the cable to the back? It is utterly incomprehensible to me. So I don't want you to think that it's because we're worried about feeling welcome. That's not why. It's just because it just sounds like nonsense to us. I'm sorry.
Okay. And I think that the mandate, the responsibility that comes once you appreciate this truth, because this is real, whether you're in Greece or you're in Germany or you're in the Middle East, no matter where you are, okay? Each of you, every single one of you, was created with very specific intentional design in mind. Okay? What up, Alex? I see that, brother. Yeah, you and me, same.
Alex is probably a woman. You don't have an audience of men, Dave.
Okay? So God, Alex, I'm gonna talk to Alex just for a second, okay? So Alex, I think that God created me. He knew how to put certain skills inside of me.
Why do you keep saying inside of?
That he put certain ways of thinking inside of me that he put certain ways of feeling inside of me, that he had an ability for me to speak in a certain way and write in a certain way and feel in a certain way. And he also had me go through a bunch of very specific, and when I say specific, I mean unique to me and no other human on this planet, experiences in life. And what happens when you actually then, Alex, hey, Jeffrey, I'm talking to Alex, and you are ruining it, and this is my patio piece. I'm going to need you to stop growling. Alex, I hope that you're still listening, brother. I'm going to land this plane, man. When you are able to appreciate that God created you, Alex, with deliberate, specific intention, and had you, Alex, go through exactly the things that you have gone through, that in going through those things, you developed the skills that you now currently possess, the thinking that you currently possess. What you hopefully appreciate is that you, and only you, possess that unique experience on this planet. Of the 7 billion people that live currently, of the billions that lived before, and the billions that will live.
I just have to say here that this level of utter delusion of grandeur and this incredible level of self-centeredness and insane sense of just self-importance and significance that you believe about yourself is a belief I would never be able to hold. Like my brain is not able to conceive of that level of just utter narcissistic ego, believing that like the universe revolves around you in this way. Dude, I'm sorry, but sometimes things just happen. Like, that's just... Things happen every day. Sometimes they just happen. Sometimes things just happen.
Alex, not one person will ever have your wiring, will not have your thinking, they won't have your feeling, they won't love the way that you love, they won't speak the way that you speak, they won't have the experiences that you've had. You are a limited edition, like every other person who's watching 387 of you right now, listen to this, all of us, all of you, are a limited edition, one of one.
If everyone is the limited edition, then it's not a very limited edition. Here's the thing. I don't, like, okay, so you're that unique, blah, 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 blah. What am I supposed to do with that? You're just stating these platitudes, okay? Okay, so no one else has had your exact experiences. So what?
Ain't nobody like you today. There's never been anyone like you in the past. There's nobody like you in the future. One of one. Okay. Dave, is there a point? Turns out there is a point. Alex, this is my point. And I want to make sure that you hear this point because this is the point. This is like the most important point that anyone can frankly make. Okay? When you appreciate that you were designed with intention, okay? You just got to believe it. You got to say, yep. One day, God woke up, just pretend that God sleeps. God woke up and was like, yep, I am going to make Miriam today. I am going to make Alex today. I'm going to make Jules today. I'm going to make Dave today. The day he woke up and decided to make Dave, one, I think he got up early because I got some extra stuff and I am feeling good about it today. A little ornery if you were here earlier, but I am fired up and ready for it. I think that God woke up on the day that he decided to make me, got up early so we can get some extra ingredients, and he had very deliberate, very specific intention in what he was hoping I would become.
Dave actually believes that God put extra work into him and extra ingredients and extra little gifts into Dave that he didn't put into other people. Sorry, that he didn't put inside of other people. the level of ego, of just delusion is off the charts. It's like he thinks he is specially blessed by God, that he made everybody else, and then he spent extra time and extra ingredients to make Dave Hollis. What's his next book gonna be? I'm the new Christ? Can you imagine? That's what he just said. He actually believes he is specially blessed by God. That he is the chosen one by God, and that he, among all people, is specially gifted and specially anointed. That's what he just said. Wow.
What I would become. Mama, I'm gonna get some rest. I promise you, but I'm trying to land this plane because this is important. I am so on fire for this. I can't sleep. I just want to talk about it. I can't sleep. I just want to talk about it. He said, I'm making Dave today. I'm going to make Dave today, and I am so deliberate and intentional in the way that I am making Dave. What I hope more than anything on earth for Dave is that Dave appreciates that with my intentionally making him the way that I have, that I hope every day for him that he would honor the intention of this creation. That he would, because of appreciating that I made him for specific things, have the courage to believe that he can do the things that I made him for. I hope more than anything, that he will believe in this one-of-one idea, that he will believe that no one can be like him, that absolutely 100% he is going to do great things on this earth because he was created with the intention for greatness, and
I hate when Dave does this cadence.
All that is standing in the way between him actually stepping into that greatness that I designed him for and where he is right now is him developing the courage to believe enough in himself to step into what he's already been called into. So Alex, if you are still listening, you were created for a reason. A very specific, totally deliberate, intentional reason. You were. And the question is, do you have the courage to hear what that reason is, and then the courage to actually do the things that you'd have to do every single day to manufacture the kind of life that would allow you to fully exploit the reason why you are here? Because it's going to take courage, my man, because the designs of our Creator, the intention that's been placed on your life, it is way more uncomfortable than it is comfortable.
This is so stupid. Okay, well, we just let Dave the Christian preach for a good while there. I'm just going to say something that's always driven me nuts. It does not require courage to believe that, everything happens for a reason and that there's a reason and intention behind your design and everything. That's actually not uncomfortable. That's actually a very comforting way of thinking for most people. People like to believe that there's an intention, that there's a reason, that there's a logic to the way things happen. Let me tell you what requires courage, Dave. What requires courage is facing down your own mortality and fragility in this universe, and understanding that sometimes bad things just happen. Sometimes they just happen. And there's no reason, and there's no, secret meaning behind it or anything. Sometimes things just happen. And hopefully you are prepared for them, and that you can recover from them, and that you can get through them with the people that you love. But there's no plan here, okay? There's no one looking out. There's no one keeping track. It is on you to make the right decisions to minimize suffering and maximize happiness for people around you. And it's all on you to come up with what the way to do that is going to be, because no one's going to come up with it for you. That requires courage. Not believing and following some mystical plan. Okay, that's not courageous. That sounds very comfortable.
It's way more uncomfortable, because the intention of a creator this big, this good, they're going to come up with tiny stuff. They're not going to come up with small stuff. They come up with big stuff. There's only one way you can do big stuff. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to get comfortable making people who've come to expect you showing up in their life in a certain way uncomfortable when you decide to lean into honoring the intention of why you were created.
What is uncomfortable about following a plan that you believe was put in place by the force that created the universe? I would assume that should, if you follow what the force that created the universe wants, and you really believe that's the plan, there's nothing uncomfortable about that. I would think that's pretty much a guaranteed success. Okay, or otherwise that wouldn't make any sense. What is courageous or uncomfortable about that? There's nothing. You are delusional. You're just telling yourself stories to make yourself seem like not the little pathetic man that you are.
That's it. Alex, shoot me a DM, brother. I will call you. We're going to have a longer conversation about this. Thank you for being my human that I could refer to. All right, we're going back to reading. Listen, everyone, I'm talking about this book. I talk all about honoring the intention of your creator inside of this book. I wrote this book. It took me a little more than a year. It was the hardest and best thing I've ever done. It is easily the greatest contribution I've ever made to this planet. It is without a
That might be true, Dave, but that's not saying much.
doubt. 1,000,000%. Mr. Bad Boy, I'm trying to encourage people to live their best lives. You're going to drop that in here? Come on, brother. Go do that on somebody else's page. This book is, without a question, the closest I've ever come. The closest I have ever come to honoring why God made me the way he did. Period. I am so proud of this book. Dave, why do you have pride for this book? Do you have pride because of how many copies you hope to sell? No. I mean, I hope that we sell a zillion copies, because the book is good. Because the book is good and it is worthy of being read. And if you are in community with me, I'm going to show up every single day. And my single ask, I'll give you 40 hours worth of me doing everything I can to try and change your life. I want you to spend $18 to have the book in your hand so you can actually help yourself change it as well. But the thing that I have pride for is not, oh, the cover looks good, or I got to interview these people, or whether it makes a list or not. I mean, yeah, do I care? Of course I care, because I have an ego like anyone else does. Yeah, I'd love to make a list.
Dave, you just got finished saying about how God created you specialer than everyone else. Like, hey, so don't say you have an ego like everyone else's. You have an ego that is many times larger than most people's.
If I don't make a list, is it going to be the thing that takes away my pride for this book? No. 0% chance. Why? Dave, what are you proud of in having written this book? What I'm proud of is that this accomplishment, this thing that I have created, is the closest I have ever come to feeling like I understand the reason why I was given the gifts that I was given, and I am now using them in a way that honors the reason why I was created. That's it. So I can have pride, like, oh my goodness, I spent 46 years trying to find a way to connect to purpose. I spent 46 years trying to find a way to connect to why I was put on this planet or why I was given these gifts. At 40 years old, I'm gonna tell the story a lot, right? 40 years old, I had, it's not an autobiography, although I do tell a bunch of stories about silly stuff that I get into. It's a little more of a self-help book. It's built, I mean, I'll show you what I showed people earlier. It's built around this idea of a map. And you basically are gonna start by building a little bit of self-awareness, like understanding where you are. Like we start with talking about your calling. Why are you here? Your values, what do you stand for? Your identity, who are you? Your experiences, what have you been through? Owning where you are, a little more self-awareness, right? Appreciating that no one's coming to save you and that the way...
Dave, this looks more like a Candyland board than a map. I mean, what would this even be a map of? It looks like there's like 6 little islands and then a lighthouse and then an island and then another lighthouse. And then in every island has a little pennant on it. Although this must be the black and white version because those flags should probably be red.
You've created value for status quo, suggests that you believe it'll be here forever, and it won't. Building a plan, confronting your fear, understanding all of the little tactical things that it's going to take to actually make your things come together. So it's built like a map, and I take you on a journey to go from where you are, casting a vision, to where you now want to go, and then ultimately making a tactical, practical
Dave, that doesn't look like any map that I've ever seen. What are those lighthouses even marking?
list of what it's going to take to actually get there. Okay? Oh yeah, you like those socks? Look at this. I basically said, look, I am going to find somebody.
He started talking about the socks again, and then talking about his patio piece again, and I skipped it.
Because I have now in my DM, in my feed, I put up the longest post possible. There are 9 comments of the copy of my post. But all it is me basically saying, look, I feel so proud of this book. If you're in my community and I commit to showing up for you for 40 days of book club and frankly beyond that, I'm going to show up for you every day. Why? I'm going to show up for you every day because I've been called into this space to show up every day. I'm going to show up every day because this is what I do for a living. This is who I am and how I think I can best utilize my talents. I'm going to try and pour into humans the things that I have experienced or learned, the way that I've learned things.
Did God also say, don't show up for those bitches unless they pay $18 because fuck them? Like, why are they following you, Dave? Why don't you tell them to unfollow you, my child? You know what? I've decided that we're just gonna split this here into 2 parts, and I will upload part 2 tomorrow. I've been Mack. Peace out. Bye!